Have you ever learned all the notes to a song, but then when you play it, you feel like there's something missing still? It's probably because nobody ever taught you how to listen carefully for those other details that are never going to be written in the tab. And I'm talking about dynamics, I'm talking about energy levels, I'm talking about something I call tone dynamics. And overall, just playing with emotion. And if you can learn to listen and hear those types of things in somebody else's performance, it'll be a lot easier for you to apply those same ideas and same techniques to get that same emotional feel out of your music. And that's what this lesson's about. We're gonna use an example from an FGA member request. This is a song called Roll the Bones from a guy named Shakey Graves. Before we watch this live performance, I'm gonna teach you a little bit about the chords of the song and how to play it so that you can follow along with his live performance. But we're really gonna be concentrating on the dynamic and energy levels. This song has 3 chords in it, but a ton of emotion. He's got a D chord, which he forms like this. Now this is an open D, so it could also be like that, but he chooses here. And then the second chord that he pairs that with is a B minor that he's forming like this. And the third chord that comes up only in the bridge is this chord, which is the 4 chord in that key. It's a G chord. Same shape. Now the cool part is how he's adding tension to each of these chords. So check it out. He's using finger picking like this. Tension. So you can see he's using tension by having this half step slide down on the second string. He also does that on the bridge section where he's playing over this G chord. Lastly, I want you to notice his use of dynamics. Dynamics traditionally means loud and soft. I also use the word tone dynamics to describe different tones that you could play on the guitar. So a palm mute versus no palm mute is a tone dynamic. It's a variation on tone. Easy to understand. He'll do this type of movement over the D, quiet. Then to loud. Quiet. This is the light and dark. It's so effective just to play one thing quiet and one thing loud. It's kind of like a call and response, but with dynamic levels. It's really effective. Let's listen to him play it and see if you can identify some of these elements that he's using to make this performance special. Okay? Here we go. Now this is from 11 years ago. This is from Audio Tree. This is a live performance that he did. Okay, so he's starting with the alternating thumb. Oh yeah, he's also a one-man band, and he's playing kick and tambourine with his feet. There comes the tambourine. Tension, release. This is that 4 chords part. The only time he does that in the song, it's just kind of like an intro.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it goes. Yeah, so
Notice low energy on the picking, a little bit louder on the B minor chord. Low energy, whisper singing, a little bit bigger energy on the B minor. Very quiet. This is called a breakdown. When you get quiet like this, he's going to the second section from this chord. energy, kicked on the distortion or overdrive. Tension release. Now much more energy on the second pass of the verse. But it's still dynamically a little bit lower energy for the D, a little bit higher energy for the B minor. Before we go to that fourth section again, the four chord, I just want to talk about his tone dynamics just for a moment. The way he's using his palm mute is kind of special. He's controlling the dynamics with his level of palm mute, and he's keeping it short so that he still has room to bring it out. So mostly he'll do low energy on the D, and then high energy. And then back to kind of lower energy where he's singing the lyrics. That's where he's kind of telling the story. Let's keep going. This is the B section, the four chord. Back to the D chord, which is played in this position sometimes. Breakdown. Opportunity to build energy again, right? Because the energy's low. This part's really cool. It's adding feedback. Let's see if I can do it. So he's adding feedback. You can see he's tapping on this guitar like this. Feedback's coming through the room and like feeding back into the microphone to get feedback. I can do that if I just pump my speakers way up. And then to stop the feedback, you hit the strings. I gotta turn mine back down to a regular volume here. But that's how you can do that cool feedback sound. Another way to produce energy. Keep going. So he's brought the energy down, the tempo down even, so that he can build up. It's all about, the only way you can build things up is by bringing them down. You can't play everything at the same level. It's static, it's no good. Building energy, building up speed. Kind of another breakdown. This chord is that same one that it's that B minor, but he's just playing in this position. Let's watch the rest of it here. That's a really cool thing too. His kick drum that he's playing, at first I thought it was actual kick drum, but it's actually just a suitcase with some kind of kick drum head on it. I bet he like travels around, actually uses that as a suitcase. What you could do is just use your actual guitar case, an empty guitar case. I had a teacher that showed me that you can just stick your SM58 microphone, or whatever microphone you have, just stick it in the empty case, close the lid, and then when you stomp on it, you can tap on it with your foot. It creates a similar sound to that, like a kick drum. Not exactly like a kick drum, but in a solo performance, it works really, really well. His other foot is playing the tambourine. So there's a high energy outro, right? Everything's high energy. Now he brings the energy down to finish it off. Great. Awesome. So after watching this, when y'all listen to new songs and you're trying to learn it, This is something that anybody can do. You don't have to have musical skills yet to be able to identify energy levels. In general, energy levels comes down to how loud or soft are you playing something. Okay, there's other things that you can do by creating tension and release. Tension also creates energy that needs to be released back to itself. Tension, if I stayed here forever, no, it's not good until it's resolved. So if you play tension, it must be resolved, or else it just sounds incorrect. Keep these things in mind when you're learning new songs. And really, I recommend to start with these types of things in mind before you start learning the notes. These energy levels are more important than how the audience is going to perceive the song. How they're going to feel about the song is all about the energy levels that you're putting out there. So these things are very important, and they're not going to be written in the tab.